Thank you for joining me. We're here in our TV studio, which is under construction. And I'm asking you for your help. But I want to tell you something, that it's difficult for me it's uncomfortable, it's embarrassing to talk about myself. I don't like it. There's a verse in the scriptures that says, let the lips of another praise thee and not thine own. But Paul said, I'm not going to boast about the great things I've done. I'll boast about my sufferings. I'll boast about my sorrows, difficulties. So maybe I could do a little bit of boasting about the sorrows. And I'll also tell you one thing that some of you won't like. And it'll maybe give you the framework as to whether or not you even want to support the show. You might hate my guts. You might disagree with some stuff we do. So I want to talk freely to you. First, we'll do the hardship. I've been arrested almost 50 times. Spent over a year of my life locked up in various jails and prison facilities. I wrote probably 5 of my books while I was incarcerated, as either in jail or one in state prison, 2 while I was a federal prisoner, 3 while I was a federal prisoner. And it has not been easy. I want to make that perfectly clear. It is not easy. I've had multiple death threats, credible death threats. Had the police come once and say, this person has threatened to kill you, and they locked them up in an insane asylum. Another time I was in federal prison and the FBI came to see me because a man in another prison said he was going to kill me. So, it's difficult. One time I was in danger of being raped in prison. And it's not, it's not easy. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. But as I've studied the scriptures and I've looked back over human history, one of the things that marks men and times is when you have men and women who will say the truth in clear, concise, hard-hitting terms without equivocation. And that's what this show is for. Now, I'm going to give you one illustration that some of you won't like, but I'm going to do it. And I'm asking you to go to that screen or go to the website and make a contribution. Send us a note. Tell us you appreciate what we're doing. Or write a check and send it to the address on the screen. And I'll close with this. Lane, we're going to go over a little bit, but it'll be okay. Tiller the Killer. Do you remember him? George Tiller was a mass murderer out of Wichita, Kansas, who was ultimately shot in the head in the church foyer where he was an usher. And of course, it was a horrifying moment. And I was the only pro-life leader at the time that had a national exposure, all right? I was on the nightly news and the New York Times. And I said, look, we grieve for him, that he may not have had time to prepare his soul to face God, but he reaped what he sowed. We are not going to lionize him as a hero. He was a mass murderer who reaped what he sowed. They took down his abortion mill website. All right. He had pictures on his website of dead babies that they would put in baptismal garments, and they would have some reprobate clergyman come in and baptize these dead babies. He was killing babies that were viable, 6, 7, 8 months pregnant. He was a vile, despicable mass murderer. And I said it before he was shot, and I said it after he was shot. After he was shot, pro-life leaders were running to the hills, running, so afraid that this was going to give us a black eye. And it was so bad that some of the pro-life, or some of the news commentators said, the pro-life movement is really giving itself a gut check now, because they really don't believe abortion is murder. If they believed abortion was murder, then they would not be so fearful about what happened to George Tiller. That's what they were saying. Now, I said that he deserved to be tried by a jury of his peers. George Tiller did. He deserved to be tried by a jury of his peers. And if found guilty, such as under the Nuremberg principles, where people murdered people when it was legal in Germany, that he should be tried. And if found guilty, then he could be sentenced to death by a jury of his peers for the mass murder that he committed. I said it. And I will continue to say stuff like that. So if you want a Christian leader, a Christian spokesman, if you want a TV show like this that's reaching all over the place, help us, please. And if you don't, just keep watching. The Holy Spirit will convict you, maybe convert you. We have put together what we call an online university for you. Now that's a highfalutin way of saying that we have a pretty significant library of material, books, tapes, videos that are there for you for free. Why are we doing this? Because America is desperate for new leaders, and because this material could help you to become the leader that you and God want you to be. Check it out and enjoy it.